Welcome to another video of Sports is Life. I really appreciate it, you guys. We're focusing on the Chicago Bears this week. Again, I apologize for last week. Some stuff came up, got really busy. I really apologize. So with that, we're going to have two videos this week. We're doing a twofer. We're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals later this week as well. But we're going to focus on the Chicago Bears. Again, please like, subscribe, throw a comment out at Sports is Life 43. It's the Danny Hurley little photo, him yelling. So I really appreciate that. Really appreciate the follow. Thank you, you guys. Anyway, Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, first overall pick. How is he going to fare this year? What are the expectations? You know, I think expectations are very high for this team. Bears fans are sick of it. They've been struggling. I mean, I can't think of the last time they've had a solid quarterback. Don't tell me it was Rex Grossman when they went to the Super Bowl, because that Bears defense was unbelievable. Anyway, so you got Caleb Williams, your first overall pick. You got DJ Moore at receiver. Rome Odunze, the rookie and 9th overall pick. You have Cole Kmet, and you just signed DeAndre Swift from the Eagles. You just make sure that O-line shirt up, and this is a good offense on paper. It's all on Caleb Williams, putting a lot of pressure on this first overall pick. How is he going to pan out? So let's segue to how they finished last year. They were 7-10 overall. They did finish strong at the end of the season, mind you. They won their last three out of four games last year to finish the season, which helped keep Matt Eberflus was able to keep his job at head coach. But they did start the season losing the first four games. They finished last in the division in the NFC North. It was dominated by Detroit. So now the question is, what's the direction? You know, the defense did look good. That was definitely the focal point of last year's team. It was strong. They got rid of Justin Fields, obviously, traded him to Pittsburgh for basically nothing. Get another small draft pick for him. What is the expectation of this team now? Caleb Williams will have to lead these guys. A rookie quarterback, throw into some veteran, big-name receivers, just like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. And Cole Kmet now. Cole Kmet's a solid tight end. I like Cole Kmet. I think he's good. So yeah, what is the direction? We're going to talk about it. So let's talk about free agency additions now as we break that down. First big name, DeAndre Swift, as I mentioned, from the Eagles, 3-year, $24.5 million deal. It's a big payday for a running back in today's market. The Keenan Allen trade, obviously, from the Chargers. They re-signed their best corner in Jalen Johnson, paid him big money. 4 years, $76 million deal. So what's that about? A little $19 million a year for Jalen Johnson. It's a lot of money for a corner. That's big. That's big corner money, so they got big expectations from him. They kept Montez Sweat in a trade last year. Some people forget that as well. So he's another big-time rusher from Washington. Brett Rypien, they got as a backup quarterback. Matt Pryor, the tackle, got another Charger in free agency. Gerald Everett, the tight end. Kevin Byard, the safety from the Titans. Jonathan Owens, another safety. Amen Ogben Baminga, the linebacker. I butchered that so bad, I know that, so I apologize. But another linebacker. Coleman Shelton, the center. And Patrick Scales, a long snapper. So we just dive into all the positions, even long snapper. But yes, they definitely revamped. Ryan Poles, the GM of the Bears, I gotta give him credit. He's doing a good job with this team. I mean, how they were a few years ago compared to when he took over as the GM to where they are now is impressive. I gotta give him a lot of credit. They are a totally different looked team right now. So yeah, it's gonna be up to Williams. It's gonna be up to Eberflus and how they turn it around. So let's talk about the guys they lost. So let's go free agency departures now. They lost Darnell Mooney, the receiver. Lost defensive tackle Justin Jones. Obviously, they lost Justin Fields. I mentioned earlier Nathan Peterman. Not really a huge loss there. Safety, no disrespect to Nathan Peterman. Just had to cut him. Safety Eddie Jackson they lost. But see, all these positions they've replaced. You can tell. And then they lost guard center Cody Whitehair, lost tackle Roy Mbiatika, and yeah, that's pretty much it for departures. So they shored up the departures in the draft and free agency by a trade and free agency. So I mentioned it. Like Ryan Poles, man, doing a great job with his team. How he got a couple picks from the Panthers. I still don't know how he managed to pull that out and get DJ Moore in the process, the receiver, who's a really solid wideout. With that, we talked about the draft. I just mentioned the draft. Let's switch to the NFL draft now. Who they took overall? Again, first overall pick of the 2024 NFL draft. They took Caleb Williams, the quarterback out of USC. I'm a Pac-12 guy. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in San Diego, so I did get to see a lot of his games. He's got all the arm talent in the world. The comparisons to Patrick Mahomes, it's sexy. It pops off the page. I personally, I'm sorry, Bears fans, I don't think he's going to pan out like everyone thinks he will. I think he played some not so crazy defenses. He played Pac-12 defenses and he played Big 12 defenses. I personally think Jaden Daniels is going to be better. Jaden Daniels is going to be better. The number 2 overall pick for the Commanders. I think he's going to be a better quarterback. I do. But we'll see. He got the Heisman, but again, I would have loved to seen Caleb Williams in the Big 10, the Big 12, not the Big 12, the SEC, and just going against defenses like that. We'll see. I mean, everyone says he's the Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah. There's other Heisman Trophy winners who never panned out. Look at Troy Smith. I know that's a throwback. But anyway, we'll move on. And then their next pick was in the first round, 9th overall. They took Rome Odunze, the wideout from Washington, who was in the national championship game. He was a stud at Washington. Penix was feeding him the ball all year. So I don't see any issue with Odunze. I love the pick personally. I think it's a matter of Williams getting him the ball. I don't see how Odunze doesn't pan out in this offense when you have Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, who are going to attract a lot of attention on offense. And then you got DeAndre Swift. So there's no reason, barring any injuries, I don't see how Rome Odunze doesn't have an impact on this team as long as Caleb Williams can get him the ball. And then third round, they took, shout out Ivy League. Like, wow. You just don't see it very often. They took a Yale offensive lineman, Kieran Amagadiji. Sorry if I butchered that last name, Kieran. A Yale lineman, so revamped that O-line. And then they took a punter out of Iowa, Torrey Taylor, in the 4th round. And then their last pick in the 5th round was Kansas defensive lineman Austin Booker. So my only question marks I would say for the Bears right now is, the defense I think will be solid. I think it's mostly Williams, the quarterback, and I think it's the O-line. I don't know. Fields got hit a lot in Chicago. Did they revamp that O-line enough to get it strong, to shore up protection, especially for a rookie quarterback? Rookie quarterbacks can get rattled really easily if they're getting hit a lot. So we'll see. I think those are my 2 biggest question marks going into the season. So with that, let's break down the schedule. We're gonna talk about how they're gonna finish this year. The Bears. I think it's gonna be very tight in what happens with this team. So let's break down the schedule now. Alrighty. Week 1, they open up with the Titans at home. Will Levis, who was coming off average rookie year, but he didn't start the whole year, so you can't really knock him for that. Levis wasn't bad. He had some decent wins. Beat Miami on the road. So you know what? In a shocker on the road, I think Tennessee beat Chicago in Chicago. I can't believe this spread, I'll be honest, you guys, and I know all the talent on paper is with Chicago. I think the line right now is 5.5. Bears are favored. I'm just shocked by it. Williams hasn't even played a game in the NFL, and he's a 5.5 point favorite at home when Levis has some experience now. Titans are a scrappy team. Yeah, they let go of Vrabel. They got Brian Callahan, but I think with Ridley now, Hopkins, I think the Titans can go in there, and they got Pollard. I think the Titans can go in there and get a win. You got the more experienced quarterback in Levis, so I'm going to give them the upset win. I got the Titans. So they start 0-1, and then they go, I got them losing this next game. They go to Houston for Sunday Night Football Week 2. I got them losing this one. I just think the Texans are a better team. Stroud is really good. They got Super Bowl aspirations in Houston right now, so I'm gonna give them the loss. 0-2. Week 3, they go to Indianapolis against Anthony Richardson. This is where I think they get their first dub. So they go 1-2. I don't know what I'm getting from the Colts this year. I don't. They're a scrappy team too. Kind of remind me of the Titans, another AFC South team. I don't know what I'm getting from Anthony Richardson. He played 3 games, I think, last year, and he got hurt. It was Gardner Minshew. I like Shane Steichen. I think he's a good coach, but I'll give Williams and those guys the win here. So 1-2, and then I think they win again next week. They get the Rams at home in Chicago. I think the Rams are going to have not horrible, but I think they're going to have a very susceptible defense that's going to give up a lot of points. And I think they get maybe that Bears defense will be able to limit Stafford and the weapons on the Rams with Nakua and Kupp. So I'm going to give them the win here. I'm going to go Bears. So they're 2-2 after week 4. And then week 5, in my last video, I had Carolina. They get Carolina at home. I'm going to take the Panthers. I'm going to give the Panthers a win here. I think Bryce Young, maybe a little redemption. They get a couple more wins. I don't think they'll lose as many games as they did last year. I think they're going to get more than 2 wins, so this is where I got them winning a game. So yeah, I got them falling to 2-3 in an upset. And then they go to London to play Jacksonville. I got them going 3-3 here. I got them beating the Jags, actually. I think the Jags are a very up and down team. You never know what you're going to get with the Jags. So I'm going to give the Bears the win here. I don't know what I'm going to get with the Jags, but the Jags are really good in London. But I'm going to give the Bears the win here. Then week 7, they go into the bye at 3-3, and then week 8 they go to Washington. I got them losing, actually. This is my Jaden Daniels. This is my Jaden Daniels breakout game. Who proves he's the better quarterback. I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels here. I think they lose in Washington. I think he shows everyone in the draft, everyone who thought Williams was better. I think I think Daniels proves himself here. So I got them losing. They go to 3-4. And then they go to Arizona in week 9. I actually have them losing this game as well. Kyler Murray and the Cards. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I think they're going to be a lot better than last year. They didn't have Kyler for most of the season. And I think Kyler at home. Cardinals is a game usually the Cardinals can they pull it out at home, I think. So they go to 3-5. And then they play the Pats at home. They go to 4-5. Enough said. I think the Patriots are going to be the worst team in the NFL. I think they win 2 games this year. So yeah, enough said on that. 4-5, and then they get the Packers at home. This starts a string of a lot of divisional games. They get the Packers at home week 11. I actually think they win this game, a little revenge. I think the Packers swept them last year with Jordan Love. So I think the Bears figure it out on defense, and I think Williams does enough to win the game. So they go to 5-5, and then they get the Vikings at home. I think they beat Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL again this year. I think they beat them, so they go to 6-5. I don't know what I'm getting from Sam Darnold. I know. So it could be J.J. McCarthy time by that time. Anyway, by week 12. And then they go, so 6-5, and then they go to Detroit for Thanksgiving, week 13. I got Detroit here. I think they're just a better overall team. Detroit has Super Bowl aspirations again, and they're going to be another NFC title contender. So I think Detroit just overall better team. I'm going to give them the win. And then it doesn't get any easier. They go to San Francisco here. Yeah, very tough game. They'll have a longer week to prepare, but I just think the Niners are just too good of a team on paper, and I think this is a game the Niners don't lose, and they just win it. So yeah, I think I got them losing again here, back-to-back games. And then they go to Minnesota on Monday Night Football in week 15. I think they win. Again, I said Minnesota, I think will be one of the worst teams. I think this will be J.J. McCarthy by now, and I think the Bears go on and win. I think they'll be the better team. I think they are the better team, and they get the dub. And then week 16, they get the Lions at home, another divisional game. I think they lose this game as well. I think just Detroit, again, I mentioned earlier, I think they're just a better team. I think this will be for maybe the division, Detroit, or maybe for the 1 or 2 seed for Detroit. They're going to be battling. They're not going to be able to afford to give up a game. So I got Detroit winning. And then they get the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. So they're 7-8 at this point right now against Seattle. Week 17, 7-8. And then they get them Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. I think they win. I think they win this game. I think they beat Seattle. Ultimately, they go to 8-8, and then what could be for a potential wild card spot for Chicago, they have to go to division rival Green Bay. Wouldn't write it any better. But I have Jordan Love and the Packers beating them. I think they fall to 8-9. I think they finish 8-9 ultimately. Packers knock them out of the playoffs for a potential that last wild card spot. And so that's the Bears. I think they missed the playoffs. They go 8-9. Their win total is 8.5 wins right now in the betting market. So take the under in that. I got the under there. Also, I'll give you a couple stats for the Bears this season. Since at 8.5 wins, the regular season win total. Chicago Bears have not won more than 8 games since 2018 when they won 12. They also are the most bet team right now on the market to go over their win total. So you're telling me the public is all over these guys. It's not just pro bettors that are on these guys. This is public money as well. I'd rather be on the other side of that. So I think the Bears, I think they fall under. So that's kind of scary for the Bears. Sorry, Bears fans. You got the public all over your team. And then that's pretty much it. So just question marks again. Caleb Williams, Matt Eberflus, the O-line. I think the defense will be solid. Can Caleb Williams be protected? Can he not make a ton of rookie mistakes and play well? And do what Stroud did last year. Because if he does what Stroud did last year, they will be in the playoffs. There's no question in my mind. They have all the talent on offense. It's whether or not can Williams rise to the challenge, stay protected, and lead them. So it's a lot to ask on a rookie quarterback for all the moves they made. That's the Chicago Bears in a nutshell for their 2024 season. My next video, we're going to have it out later this week, is on the Cincinnati Bengals, guys. Joe Burrow got hurt halfway through the year last year. I don't know if you guys remember. Got hurt against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. I had money on the Bengals in that game. I remember it was very sad. It was over after that. And then Jake Browning kind of took over for them, got him a few wins, almost got them to the playoffs. They were in it for like the last couple weeks of the season. Then they got knocked out. It was a tall task for Jake Browning. Very tall. So we'll see. They got Chase back, Higgins, all those guys. We'll see how they do. Their defense wasn't the greatest, I'll be honest, last year, but they have high expectations, obviously. They're thinking division, Super Bowl, all the way to get that ring finally for Burrow and Chase. So we'll have the Cincinnati Bengals next week. Again, please like, subscribe, comment on this video. I really appreciate it, you guys. Really would. It's a Danny Hurley video, little photo. That's my profile at SportsIsLife43. I gotta get a TikTok, I gotta get a Twitter, I gotta get an Instagram page going. I know that. So I will have that out eventually. Appreciate you guys following, and stay tuned for my next video. Thanks, guys.